My husband and I are 30 years old. We have been married for 8 years, and before that we dated for 2 years. Now I am on maternity leave with my 8-month-old son. We have always had a great relationship. We were really happy. Many people envied us. We mutually decided to live without children. But as time went on, my husband changed his mind, wanted a child, and was happy when he found out there was going to be a son. I always considered him a reliable man, trusted him, and could not even imagine that he could just swap me and the baby for another woman. And this after so many happy years of marriage? The relationship soured abruptly and unexpectedly for me. It was as if my husband had been replaced. He became irritable and inattentive to me, stopped taking care of the child, citing his busyness at work. Intimate life was also a thing of the past. He had turned from such a kind, close, and loving person to a stranger. I banished thoughts of adultery from myself, thinking that he would never do this to me, that it simply could not be. But the relationship did not improve, and after 6 months he admitted that there was another woman and he loved her, but he did not want to leave the family. He said he couldn't keep the baby. It was very hard for me, but I agreed, hoping that he would come to his senses and this infatuation would be in the past. I tried to forgive everything. I waited that he would break up with her, that he would change his mind and come to his senses, because we had a long-awaited son. We lived apart for 2 months, but he came back to the family, saying that their relationship was over. He promised me and my parents that he would never cheat or deceive me, and I accepted him, more for my son than for myself. The relationship didn't get any better. He became a stranger to me. Then I found out that his relationship with his mistress continued, and his return to the family was because she was married and wasn't going to leave her husband. She is 5 years older than him, has 2 children, and works together. So he came back to have a semblance of family life, and I don't want to live like that, to share the man I love, to keep silent and tolerate it. I just can't. I filed for divorce. It really hurts because I loved him, and I still do, but I understand that this is another person who does not need me. After learning about the divorce, my husband again began to repent, saying that he felt bad without us, that he had grown cold to his mistress, but that to end their relationship, it takes time. And I do not believe him, just another excuse, and under the guise of family he will still meet her. I can no longer believe this man, especially since his attitude towards me has not changed, only to the child has become a little more attentive. But I can see that all of this is insincere, that he is with her body and soul. I made one last condition, that he quit his job and stop talking to her, but he doesn't want to quit. He says it would be hard to find a job like that. In addition, he counts on the fact that I am on maternity leave. I do not earn any money, and it will be difficult for me to live only on the child allowance. But here I have the support of my parents, who are strongly in favor of divorce. And for me, the question of changing his job is crucial, because it is impossible to be near my mistress every day and be indifferent to her. I warned him that failure to meet my conditions means divorce. If he cannot choose one of us, that is his problem. I am tired of this love triangle. The next story you will hear will be about 2 broken people who found comfort in each other in the midst of grief and despair. After years of pain and loss, they finally found joy in each other and built a new life full of love and hope. This story started with a lot of grief. I was married. Everything started well. The changes started after my son was born. My son was born sick, with cerebral palsy and Down syndrome, kidney problems, and a heart defect. All in all, a terrible pain, both for him and for us parents. I don't know why, but I guess my wife always blamed me for the way my son was born. Thanks to our care and love, my son lived 12 years, although the doctors said that he was very weak and would not live long. A year and a half before my son left, I found out that my wife had another one. There was no scandal. I just packed her things and told her that she could go to him, since she was not happy with everything. But I would not give up my son. For the sake of the child, she stayed and swore that she was done with that relationship. A year and a half later, my son died. My heart surgery was a success, but a few days after the surgery there were complications and my son died without regaining consciousness. I fell into a depression. We buried our son, and not even a month later my wife left, yes, to the same lover. I didn't care about her leaving, but I couldn't stand the death of my son. I broke down and drank. I probably would have died from alcohol, would have burned from it if it were not for chance. On my way back from work one day, I went to the store for another couple of bottles to drink and forget about the pain for a while. And as fate so freakishly happened, I met an old acquaintance in the store. Anya and I had studied together, but we were, as they say, from different planets. She was clever and excellent, and I was a wreck and lover of company. In general, we were different people and hardly ever crossed paths. And then we met. Anya was in no better condition at the time, if not worse than me. She had been undergoing treatment for a long time since she had a miscarriage. She was also treated for depression. Her husband left her after the miscarriage. I guess we were brought together by fate. There was no other way. We met two broken people. We became a refuge and an outlet for each other. That saved us both. We started communicating. Then Anka was put in the hospital and I started going to see her. I did not notice how I stopped drinking. She became my whole life. I began to live only when I saw her and had no time for the rest. After the hospitals, we started dating and then living together. A year later, we got married. Another year later, Anka got pregnant. We sat and cried in our arms. Words can't describe what it was for us. Since then, it has been a long time since we had two children. Our sons, the eldest is 15 and the youngest is 13. My relationship with Anya was the best I had ever had with my ex-wife. That's the way it is. And if we hadn't met then, we might have gone to the next world alone and broken. Now I realize that without her, my life is not my life. I cannot even imagine myself without her. And she loves me as well. A lot of time has passed, and we still live as if except for us and children, each other no one. That's how it is, through pain to happiness. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video if you like it. Also put a bell so you don't miss new videos. See you soon.